All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Happy Friday. And yeah, hopefully we can get ourselves a little bit of an interesting trading day. We've got OPEX day here today. So what that means is we've got option expiration on both weekly, daily, and I think it's monthly today as well. But there's a tremendous amount of call volume option that's expiring here today. Um, Realistically, probably seems like most of those, or a good chunk of those, would probably be profitable trades for a lot of people, especially if they're like, I don't know, start of the month calls, right? Whatever it is. And that could create an environment of like people electing positions, right, and then selling them, or holding them, or whatever it might be. So probably expecting a little bit of some, um, or I would say like an uptick in volume here today is probably the base expectation, and hopefully we kind of see that consistent narrative here across the board. One thing also worth mentioning here this morning, kind of just operationally, actually two things. So the short-term fix for the indicator, or the second way that you can get the short-term fix for the indicator, has been published. That's in the DTR indicator tab. Please just watch that video and copy paste the code in. Should be very, very simple. If that doesn't work for you, then you continue to still have access to the indicator via the FAQ section, where you can copy and use my layout. So that option is available to everyone as well, has been available to everyone for the entire time. So please, they are there. Can't really provide any further tech support besides that. One of those options is going to work. There should be nothing that would prevent it from working. The other thing to mention here is I had a missing journal entry on my P&L tracker here. So it was just missing last Thursday. So appreciate someone for pointing that out. That has now been corrected and updated. So apologies for that as well. All right. So let's get after it here a little bit. Let's figure out what we want to do this AM, and let's go from there. Not the craziest of a reaction to 8:30 data. We're gonna have 10 a.m. data here. All right, should be fixed. So we should have some 10 a.m. data. It's red folder, right? So quote unquote high impact. Let's see if that changes basically the story, right? We're seeing here pre-market. We've got quote unquote 3 for 3 conditions here to the upside today. Maybe less optimistic about that on NQ, a bit more positive about it on ES. Well, yeah, let's start breaking it down, and let's get after it. So spoiler alert, right? ES 3 for 3 here to the upside. And so we're going to be looking right for that bullish case only. In general, guys, I have no reason to want to be more aggressive here today. It's been a very choppy week. I wouldn't expect much to change here until I get a proven otherwise. So yeah, let's be pretty patient here and see, if something can show up to the upside here. Looking at 65.10 as my starting point. And then an implied daily range here of, oh my gosh, 14.59. Crazy. So 1% of daily range would be like 60. Whoops. All right. NQ. All right. Green candle, increasing volume, green open. So 3 for 3 here to the upside. Kind of looks like a bull flag. Right? Or like maybe the start of one. Here's your flagpole. Right? So kind of like that. To the upside here, we're targeting 24,000. I don't think that needs to change. And then we're going 24-1. That doesn't need to change. So fine. To the downside here, I'm probably still just going to go NA, guys. 3 for 3 here. Trending quote unquote markets. I'm going to look to basically play those. I'm not really interested in going counter trend here. If it ends up being a quiet and slow day, I pretty much have no issues whatsoever starting my Friday early, right? So would like to see a level of enthusiasm that we maybe haven't seen a ton of here this week. We've seen just a lot of chop, a lot of indecision, a lot of honestly trades that like are trying to frustrate us almost as much as possible. Like yesterday, it felt like everything we closed rallied 50 points 5 minutes after we closed it. So kind of just one of those market environments, and we got to just take it on the chin, basically not make it personal, and yeah, really be really interested in going from there. So let's see how the day shapes up from that perspective. But basically, the base expectation is I want to be forced to trade. I don't want to just like start the day off and get tunnel vision on action and deal with like honestly what's been I think a little bit of frustrating PA or just like a lack of fall through or like that lack of release. And so we're not getting paid for really any of our decisions here, and it'd be nice to either not force something or finally get some follow through. All right. CL. So green candle, decreasing volume, gap down. So 1 for 3 here to the upside. Maintain that flexibility in both directions. 64 to the upside does make sense. We're at 63 pre-market, so 62.50 is going to continue to make sense. So not too much is changing from this perspective. Kind of got I don't know, almost like bailed out with my prep here this morning. Feels like I got to be a little bit lazy. But hey, is what it is. All right, Apple looks like a higher high. Yeah, higher high, higher low, red candle gap up. But it is a 1 out of 3 there to the downside. Tesla, red candle doji, pretty much as big of a doji as one could get, increasing volume gap up. So we'll call this a weak 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Doji. Right. And that just means high volume indecision, right? Doesn't really give us any indication of trending price action. Microsoft with the old inside bar. Amazon, old 3 for 3. NVIDIA, inside bar as well. Okay, AMD, inside bar. Man, we're flying through this today. Okay. Meta, good little bounce off of support, but it's going to be a 2 out of 3 to the upside without volume. Netflix, 3 for 3 to the upside. And then Google, inside bar. Hey, we nailed it. Nice. All right. So, plan for the day, right? In general, is we're looking for bullish continuation. It continues to be a quote unquote bull market. It's kind of like the world's most frustrating bull market because it's grind your teeth higher type move, right? So not really getting too much smooth price action, not really seeing moves happen easily. There's a lot of call it roadblocks basically in the way, right? Or like a lot of DUI checkpoints on your way home type thing. So it's just really slowing things down. Hopefully we can get ourselves some clean price action. I think with option expiration happening here today, that definitely creates an environment where we should be expecting potentially more volume and potentially more volatility. I'm pretty much here only looking for a bullish scenario. I think it's really challenging for me to want to be bearish, especially after the kind of quote unquote bullish or bearish failure that we saw um, kind of play out here already, right? Bears have had the chance to try to reclaim control here all week. They've not been able to do so with any conviction. And so now with the 3-for-3 pre-market condition kind of backdrop, I'm not interested in giving them any extra credit. I don't think that they deserve it type thing. Or I don't have I can't justify. I don't think I can find a way to justify going counter trend here. So bull case on the indexes, two-way tape here on CL, and then hopefully a nice weekend of some back testing of other tickers and seeing if maybe we can find something else that we can trade if like things get really choppy like they have been. So curious to see how the day shapes up. Curious to see where momentum kind of comes into play. Not super optimistic it's going to be the world's busiest day because that's been the week in general, right? So base expectation is markets are going to do what they always have until proven otherwise. And right now, our always has is chop and hang out, right? Even if we look at like yesterday's NQ price range or kind of like price graph, we tried to play this short here to the downside. It would have shaken us out right before it broke down. So we did a good job closing where we did. And then it was just up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Pogo stick price action. So expecting more of the same until proven otherwise here today. And hopefully, right, we can get ourselves some clean price action and take advantage of, yeah, whatever that momentum is here today. Any questions here, team? Any concerns, any comments? How's everyone feeling? The indicator instructions are clear for everyone, yeah? Good team. Love to hear everyone doing well. Let's finish just with an absolute bang here today, right? That's the objective, and we're looking for kind of a no bullshit end to the week here. And then let's see how enthusiastic price action is, and let's see where things go. All right, we got 3 minutes to market open, so I'm gonna go get my coffee here too. So just give me a couple minutes here, team. I'll be back right for market open, and we'll break it down then. Hey, Muhammad, watch the videos in the Start Here channel. They'll give you enough contextual context so that when you join the stream, you know what's going on. All right, so let's get after it here, team. It is August 15th here today, and it feels like it's November 15th. So if you just like hear me mentally break down because of the rain, I promise it's just the weather. But besides that, let's see, and the temperature. It's like 12 degrees today. So let's see where momentum wants to show up, and let's see if we can get some smooth PA, right? That's really what I'm cheering for here. Pretty good, like size open. So far, so good. Hey, happy birthday. Good open. Very good size open. Huh. And see, we'll keep an eye on this thing. Okay, so a little bit of that selling pressure has kind of evaporated. And this would be the that would be like the clean breakout first candle ideas. You need like an 885 kind of entry to 912. That would keep your risk too loose. Really enthusiastic first minute, and then slowed down. You guys, with the DTR indicator, right? I've already posted the solution inside the DTR indicator tab. That's available to everyone. Right. I tagged everyone in that message, pinned it in the channel. Like, there's no need to message me asking me for that code or for the instructions on how to fix it. It's already there. Just click that link, right? Watch the video, copy paste the file. Like, not the most enthusiastic open here. Like, it was looking really, really good for a few minutes and then just stalls instantly. That I don't like too much. Bit better on ES, but not on any significant volume standard, or at least not one that's worth pursuing. CL went inside bar. ES maybe looking a bit like a little fake out. So really, team, like what I'm looking for here today, right, is just like a no nonsense trading day. And I don't mean nonsense from the chat. I don't mean nonsense from us. I mean nonsense from the market. I'm pretty desperate for things to just be smooth again here, right? The harder it makes you work for your money, generally the worse the trade is. It's gonna sound kind of bad, but maybe initially, well, maybe not bad, but a CL maybe feels like it's the most likely to be tradable for me here. I don't think we're going to get there from a volume perspective on either of these time frames. Yeah, not enough volume there. I think we're going to have to wait probably till 10 a.m. team for decent action. Hey SG, how you doing? Hey NQ. Thing is, I'm not going to be chasing this here to the downside. I don't think I can justify it here quite yet. This is my base expectation. I don't think the path lower is the path of least resistance. I think that that's probably arguably the path of most resistance. Really challenging to want to be hyper aggressive there. CL, what's bothering me is that the open wasn't at the previous candle's close. Don't like when I see that in a we're on a whatever, but I think good decision, right? To not be interested in that. I think very valid. Maybe we're starting to get some potential reversal scenarios here, right? Like these 5 min time frames look a little bit more interesting. We should definitely be getting to increase in volume on these 5 minutes. So if that doesn't happen, that would be I don't know, quite chaotic. Yeah, I think so far, team, we've had a pretty good read on what we thought the morning was going to be like. We got 15 minutes till data. It's only market's only been open 15 minutes, but it feels like it's been 45. Is this what it's like to get an email Friday afternoon from your boss and be like, I need you to work overtime? Makes things go in slow motion, it feels like. A little bit of a potential reversal, like the worst, most indecisive possible candle, or like the closest it could have gone to being a red candle, pretty much. So I think that's going to slow me down just a little bit, right? Especially because we're continually dealing with that ES NQ divergence. This is going to set up, yeah, I was going to say fake out potentially, but not so. And again, even guys, right? Even if we did have a bearish bias on this, we would have gotten stopped out, right, on our attempt at the aggressive entry before this breakdown happens. So the idea here with the 3 for 3 to the upside, right, saying that we're not going to go bearish NA, not because markets can't go south, right? They absolutely could go lower. It's that the expectation of getting a smooth move that follows our rules then kind of evaporates a little bit or it becomes lower probability. CL, this is probably where things are the most interesting. We don't have as much. We don't really care about the 10 a.m. data on CL, right? All things considered. I mean, inflation maybe, the expectations maybe. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna be watching CL here, team. This for me is the most interesting of potential opportunities here this morning. Excuse me. So we're getting this thing ready here. Target would be 63.60. All right. So initially, we're looking here immediately for the pullback entry technique, right? Because we have not made a higher high here yet. Between 26 and 16, 10 points of risk. That's maybe a little bit like right on the cusp. I'd probably want to go like that 24 handle, right? Basically just the high of that previous red bar. That for me is a logical, reasonable spot. So starting to watch here, right? Stop loss would be 63, we call it 16. This is moving way too fast though, right? Way too fast. Okay, no interest. How quickly that confirmation failed. Yeah, it's I was going to say something stupid, but it's kind of like CL just like spat in my face a little bit there. That's I don't know, you guys just witnessed some maturity happening in real time. I don't think I've ever caught myself from saying something dumb before. Oh, just cracked through yesterday's lows, kind of invalidating that buying pressure. It does change things a little bit. Two ways that you can invalidate previous day's price action, right? You overcome those points of resistance or you overwhelm it from a volume perspective. We've cracked through those lows. Opening volume appears to be larger than what we had yesterday. It's kind of the combo a little bit. I mean, I'm willing to put this to a team vote. Do you think it's reasonable for us to have bearish bias, or do you guys want to continue to be stuck and sticky? Bearish bias doesn't, or creating a bearish plan doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make money, right? Same thing as being bullish bias doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make money. But we are getting enough reasonable information to think that there is some bearish control with that OPEX, and that maybe a lot of it is people electing calls and selling positions, right? That's kind of the environment or the behavior that we're getting. So what do we think, team? All right, we put a quick poll up. Put a quick poll up. All right. So appears to be pretty much unanimous. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's exactly why we're potentially interested here. Is because NQ has cracked under yesterday's low and it's done so on larger volume than yesterday. So, like the 3 for 3 elements, right, that are quote unquote showing a strength have been taken out. I still think I'm going to wait, guys, right, for 10 a.m. to explore anything. So I think if we can sustain bearish pressure post news, then I think we probably have a reasonable path to explore a move lower. If price action basically stalls before that 10 a.m. or that ends up being the narrative, then I think we did a good job being patient and waiting. So I don't think enough time now to really justify getting follow through. So I'm just going to be patient. Not going to let the rush of blood, right, of wanting to chase this price action to trick me into making a decision I don't want to make. So let's see. We got 5 minutes, guys. So no real rush. I'm not going to place a trade until then at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till 10, guys, until that news drops because I don't think there's enough time to get decent amount of follow through before then. So it just allows me to be, yeah, a little bit level headed, I guess. A bit of an oxymoron with me, but all relative. this CL drives me nuts sometimes. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so 90 seconds to go here. And objectively, we have not missed that downside move, right? So that feels pretty good. I think, well, at least a reasonable decision. All right, time to fill up the coffee, guys. 1 second. All right, any moment now. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Finally, a nice little algo push at 10 a.m. We finally got one. We've been waiting for it for a while. Yeah, CL makes me laugh, man. It's so bad. Yeah, so hopefully, right, this now sets up potentially for some reversals because that's a pretty aggressive little fake out there early. If we can get back up above 800, see that volume show up with some aggression, we could be in play. Alternatively, right, a high vol crack under 770 would also kind of give us a story. This is probably what's giving me the most pause. That was a big move with kind of like just a little turtle volume profile. I'd like to see that get more enthusiastic, or let me phrase it a little bit differently. The lack of volume or the kind of like the slow pace didn't feel like it necessarily matched the like reaction, right, that we got, I would say, from that price action. So curious to see. Yeah, this is some kind of bullshit trading view data issues. Like I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed with trading view. Honestly, they cause us so much yeah, it creates a lot of pain in the asses in my life. Most importantly, it seems And this is a conspiracy theory I've had in my head for maybe 6 or 7 months. So bear with me if I've gone full Alex Jones. But it feels a little bit as if I don't get every tick data. And like this, seeing more and more of these types of bars on NQ is kind of like what gives me that information. And so like, yeah, just pair that with every time I try to update the algorithm or the indicator, and then they like block my account and freeze it and do stuff like that. It's crazy. TradingView kind of drives me nuts from that perspective. I really don't understand how they work. All right, reasonable reversal there. Much better on ES, or sorry, on NQ than it is on ES. 27 to 42. We're in play, but it would be one contract on an aggressive. Target wise, we'd be going to our 2R range, so that would be about 24,000. Stop loss would be 824 for now. Let's see if it finds support here. Kind of like a little bit of an early pop and then maybe a bit more aggressive pullback than I'd like. So I feel like maybe it's not quite ready here yet for me. Still going to set everything up though, and it'd just be one contract. Stop loss 824. Okay, so I'm trying to look for a gentle pullback here. We're seeing some enthusiasm. So I'm looking for under 42, right? And all I'm thinking here, guys, in this moment, right, is what's the biggest discount I think I can get away with, right? That's literally the only thing that's going on in my head, and it's a discount relative to the blue line. I'm not chasing it. I'm not looking to buy on the uptick. If it gives me a chance here, right, it's going to give me another opportunity on this 5-minute time frame. If I don't get an entry here on this 3, I'm fine, right? I don't need to chase this. I don't need to be an asshole here. So we're going to look at this on the 5-min, right, instead. Okay. Reference price would be 860. Stop loss would be 850. So this would allow us to go 2 contracts here. Okay. And so watching just for a gentle pullback. Come on. Come on. All right, sweet guys. I am in 857.75. 857.75. I might get stopped out here instantly. Yep. All right. Took a 340 hit on that. This might set up again. Let's try this potentially again here if it wants to behave. That was rude. We're looking at NQ here to the upside, Hunter. All right, so you can see the ticker here, and red line always is going to indicate where the expected stop loss is going to be. All right, so we're trying again here. 840 or 839 would be the stop. And it'll just be one contract this time, unfortunately. I get really deep pullback. Maybe I could go 2. Okay, so I'm back in 848.75, 848.75. Stop loss 839. $848.75, 848. All right, let's see if this thing can push. I got 2 contracts on this. I don't like how it's kind of stally, McStallerson. Better. There we go. All right, this thing's starting to push now. We want to see it crack and hold, right? Enthusiasm. That's the name of the game here. Oh, I maybe jinxed it. Yeah, watch the start here video, Randall. Right now, really not the appropriate time to ask those basic questions. I'm in the middle of a trade, man. Don't get me to explain to you what buying one contract is or what one unit is. Not fair, man. Okay, so let's see if this thing can get through 860 and really push. Come on. Hey, push, 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 push. There it goes. All right, let's watch if this thing can really now start to fly. But behaving well here so far, team. Behaving well. Shame we didn't get that initial reaction, but this is going to be fine. Come on, get back up there. Honestly, kind of a worst case scenario pullback here because it didn't make a higher high. So I don't have a ton of reason to say that my idea is wrong or that the breakout has failed. I kind of have to hang tough here a little bit. Let's see if I can be vindicated for that patience. $7-11, guys, make a wish. All right, let's see if this thing can keep pushing. just don't like how it keeps kind of stalling out a little bit. In like the most annoying way possible. Come on. It does find a little bit of support, but then it doesn't give me as much back to the upside as kind of I would hope or would dream of. Not enough to justify a 7-Eleven wish on it. Come on, keep pushing. We believe in you, NQ. We believe in you. Hey, get through 70 here now. That's what we'd like to see. Nice work, Kiki. This is an annoying one. I hope it keeps pushing too. Just the point at where it's stalling is not quite far enough where you can be chill, but it's also not so close where you can panic. So it's kind of like a little bit of a no man's land. Which is what's just the annoying part about this. So let's even get through 70 here now. All right, here we go. All right, guys. So watching. Looking good on this position. Let's see how this thing closes. Close with strength above 70. S'il vous plaît. Did it just by the skin of its teeth. Really bad volume, though. All right, looking pretty good here. Let's get that next leg through 80. There we go, team. There we go. Starting to push. Hopefully a few of you are still in this with me. I haven't talked you out of it here yet. Let's go, Tim. Nice work. Let's go. Come on, don't stall here. Average price is 39. I don't want to be a hyper aggressive asshole. It's not worth it. Okay, keep pushing here. Keep pushing. Nice work, Zeus. Nice work, David. Let's go. Good job today, team. Love it. All right. So I was even get one more decent crack or decent pop out of this. I would say the biggest concern for me is the lack of volume now at this point. It's starting to become a little bit of a concern. Ooh. Nice work, Sean. Good job. Yeah, just watching, right? Not panicking here, guys. Not panicking. All right. See how quickly it comes back to 70? Like, we don't need to panic, right? We don't need to panic. The market will punish your P&L if you're making decisions based in panic. Okay. Let's see if we can get a strong close here. Preferably back up above 70. All right, that's kind of my sweet spot. Glad I didn't pyramid. That was the intrusive thought running around in my head. Yeah, let's give it one more chance here. You got this, NQ. I believe in you. Oh, this trade's bringing out all my weird characteristics. Let's see if this thing can keep pushing. I mean, by the letter of the law, this candle is my reason to get out. So I'm looking to close here as PNL is increasing, basically as close to 70 as possible here, ideally. Again, not panicking with this decision, right? Trying to buy as much time to try to get as much out of it as possible. There was our 70 hint. Let's see. Push, baby, push, push, push. Hmm. And no panic here, no panic. Oh, theme of the week, though. Theme of the week. 722. Come on. Find your support, you psychopath. Doesn't feel like super strong bears here yet, which is why I'm trying to be a little bit more patient with my exit. Man, this thing is testing the nerve a little bit. Okay, this is potentially going to be our chance here, team. Watch here very closely, right? Finger on the trigger. Don't be a greedy asshole here. And that's like kind of talking to myself too, right? Come on. So quite haven't gone the exit I want. At what point, though, are my desires different than price action? Usually, most of the time. I honestly can't believe I didn't get stopped out there. I honestly can't believe that. Crazy. All right. Focus, focus, focus. Holy, that was fucking mean. Let's see if this can keep pushing. Come on, give me that 70. I've worked hard for you. I've worked hard. I honestly can't believe it. Oh, that was crazy. Hey, and actually a trade where we all survived that. That's unbelievable. Turns out all my bitching and screaming might have actually worked. Let's go. Yeah, I hear the same thing, AJ. I'm very much looking for my exit here. I'm a little bit maybe too pot committed to that 70, but I keep surviving worst case scenarios, which makes me want to stay in. Because like if the worst thing that happened to me didn't kill my trade, what do I have to be afraid of, right? It's kind of the broken logic in my head. I can't believe I didn't get stopped out there. Oh, that would have been such a an exclamation mark on this week. All right, here comes 70, team. Here comes 70. Now fly. All right, watch for 80 now. Watch for 80. Oh, might have jinxed it. Come on, watch for 80. Ah, come on, squeeze. You're so close. Let's go, Mark. Congratulations. Ooh, that's kind of a crappy look now. Fuck me. Uh, high volume in this. I can't believe I didn't close at 72. Stupid. Come on, push, you silly prick. Honestly, this week has just been paper cuts, paper cuts, paper cuts. That's annoying. Ugh. Oh my god. Come on. I think I've kind of self-sabotaged myself a little bit on this trade. All right. I just stop loss there. Oh, I went down with the ship on that one. Fuck me. Honestly, where I screwed up here is I told myself I wanted to get out at 70. Once we got to 70, I said push to 80. So I didn't listen to my plan on that one. It's a little bit frustrating. Just self-sabotaged my way into that one, unfortunately. Fuck me. No, it wasn't. It was looking promising from a P&L perspective, but this candle, once it hits 70 and pulls back, is not promising, right? This is a failed move. This is a continuation of that. Right? So no, it did not look promising at 70. It was pure hopium. It was pure greed. There's nothing about this chart that told me it was going to go through 80. No thanks. I'm going to pass. Too much volume going into its roll on Monday. I'm going to pass. Not worth it. Sorry about that one, team. I feel pretty stupid. Trying so hard not to go down with the ship, and I did it last trade of the week, or far last trade of the week. Me setting up again. So stop here on the aggressive would have to be 830, 875, just call it 838. So how much are you risking, Simone? What's the risk on this trade, right? Guys, we should be doing these calculations ourselves, please. Right? If I can get a deep pullback to be within like 12 points, then I can go 2. Based on that reference price, I can only go 1. And team, the point about why I ask people to figure out their own position sizing is because everyone has a different number that breaks them, right? Everyone has a different psychological number that they're working on. Everyone has a different psychological pressure, right? Or a different reaction to each thing. So we have to be very selfish with our position sizing, right? And selfish with effectively our ability to execute that. No one else can make that decision for you. We have to make that decision ourselves. So all this is here, right, is this is a low vol pullback setup post that reversal, right? So here's your high vol breakout, your high vol move. Here's your low vol pullback. Here's your reversal candle relative to that low vol pullback. So we're still playing off of this. Nothing has changed here. This is the one that indicates. Here's your low vol pullback post move. Here's maybe your confirmation that bulls are back in control post pullback. Okay, this would be a 936 stop loss now. And we're going to look for a gentle pullback here. Okay, watching closely, watching closely. I'm trying to get a little bit of a deeper pullback so I can go slightly larger contract sizing. I'm trying to get, 46-ish, something like that. Too fast, too fast, too fast. Okay, better. Okay, guys, I am in average price 44.25, 44.25. Stop loss at 36. Ooh, don't like that instantly. Yeah, I just took the stop. Oh, I knew it was wrong the second I entered. That sucks. So that puts me at about minus $1,000 here on the day. Losses of 340, 350, 310. I can't believe it. Oh, mind-boggling. Yeah, so all things considered, mental capital is still pretty fine. I'm a little bit annoyed of my greedy behavior. It cost me money today. That was bullshit. I don't really know what that statement means, Ian. No, I just don't know what it means. Look, here's the thing, guys, right? My job is to follow my trading rules and to follow my technique and to do what I think makes me the most amount of money long term. Fundamentally, I'm not really interested in capping my upside potential. I think that it makes zero sense if I actually want to be a long term profitable trader and I actually want to compound some of these gains. It's also pretty unfair to all of a sudden expect me to like completely change my technique when we've had one slow week, right? Like we're optimizing for decisions over a long-term sample size, not over a trade to trade or a day to day or a week to week basis. But I'm also a human being. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. We're all going to make a lot of mistakes. But if the expectation is that I have to be profitable or I have to make every perfect decision each time, and I can't basically allow longer term sample sizes to play out in my favor, then I'm in a lose lose situation, right? Everything I do is going to be wrong, and then everything, uh, yeah, like it's a lose lose situation. So all I ever say that this stream is and what my expectation over this is here is that I'm going to show you my technique. I'm going to show you the pros of it. I'm going to show you the cons of it. And I'm going to show you how I'm able to use that to actually make a living trading. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect in every single market condition or every single market environment. So my like so when you say push the envelope, Ian, right? Like it's really unfair because I'm not pushing the envelope. I'm trying to follow my rules and I'm trying to stick to my plan. It's pushing the envelope, right? When variance goes against you, it's being a trading genius when the variance goes for you. And neither one of those things are the reality, right? So like, yeah, it's kind of a piss take because the P&L is effectively a straight line here all year. We take 3 days where we kind of stall out and it gets a little bit slow, and all of a sudden, it's just unfair. Like I don't, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm not here to play for small prizes. I think that's a fucking pathetic way to live your life. So I'm going to trade my technique and I'm going to look to go for moves that I have an expectation of getting as much follow through as I can. Not always going to work out. Certain market conditions are going to make that more challenging than others. But if I start to overcorrect and change each day and do whatever, that consistency I have in my trading is going to evaporate. So tough shit, right? I'm going to keep trading my technique. I'm going to keep trading my rules. There are going to be days where I make money. There are going to be days where I lose money. All things considered, I'm like green on 85 or 86% of my days all year. So please, guys, like, I do my very best here. Don't hold me to a standard that's literally impossible. It makes this very unfair. Like, I don't have to call out my trades the way I do. I don't have to be this transparent. No one else does this. These are the pros and cons, right, of me sharing it with this amount of detail. Right? Everyone else gives you vague generalities and they say, oh, I'm looking at this. And then 20 minutes later, they tell you if they're green or not. I don't do that. I tell you guys exactly what I'm doing in the moment before it ever happens. And that's exceptionally difficult to do. So now I have to question my technique, or I have to worry about hurting someone's feelings, or I have to do whatever. That makes my job literally impossible. No, it's not an like, I'm not taking it as an insult. I'm saying you're holding me to unreasonable expectations based on how I trade as a trader. So you're asking me to be something that I am not, or that I cannot be, and that is extremely unfair. Not most guys, it's literally everyone else. There's no one else telling you guys what their entry is going to be, but before it ever happens. There's no one else telling you what their exit plan is going to be before it ever happens. Guys, it'd be a lot easier if I could just say, oh yeah, I played ES from 784 all the way to 877. Fucking pathetic loser behavior, and it's why I don't do it. But you guys cannot hold it against me when I execute trades that follow my rules, because variance goes in both directions and it's never personal at any time. And I'm not going to change based on 1 week's worth of sample size. The point of being consistent with my technique, doing the same thing, making the same decision post every entry, managing my positions the same way each time. I do that because if things start to break down on a larger sample size, it's obvious what I need to fix to be getting back to maximizing my PNL. Well, I'm still green here on the week, right? I'm still making money. I'm still positive, still green here on the month. So I don't understand the desire to overcorrect and to like make these dramatic changes or to demand a philosophical shift. And yeah, guys, I'm not going to be perfect. No trader is perfect, right? I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. Every trader is going to make a lot of mistakes. Half the point of the stream is seeing how you manage them. You don't let them like compound into account enders, and then how you survive and live to fight another day. my job, guys, regardless of market conditions, is to do the same thing every single time, right? Muscle memory, muscle memory, muscle memory. Doesn't mean it's going to work every single time. But that's not the point. I can be correct on like 50% of my decisions and still make a tremendous amount of money. So stop with these like short-term thoughts and short-term beliefs. Honestly, slowing everyone down. Like I think about this so much, but the easiest way I can tell if a person's going to make it as a trader, or if they have like what it takes, or if they're thinking about things the right way, is they think in dollars and in years. Unprofitable traders, or people who are struggling or who are stuck, they think in dollars and cents. Right? So they're not thinking about optimizing their trading decisions for next year, next month, next quarter, next decade. They're thinking, ooh, how can I make $500 here today and feel good about myself? Doesn't work. So everything I do, been stress tested, it's been back tested. Fuck, my last 1,500 trading days have all been live streamed. And the objective throughout those entire 1,500 days, be consistent, be repeatable, get better, improve your technique, learn from your mistakes. And it's not perfect, right? But when I behave this way, when I behave consistently, make so much more money than just chasing random bullshit or random feelings or like overcorrecting to stuff. So when I get criticized for being consistent, very frustrating, because that's what I'm pursuing, right? The consistency is the objective. Right? The only way I make money long term is if I'm consistent in my approach to trading the markets. That's what makes me money, right? When I've back tested things, I'm looking back at hundreds of trades, not one or two or a week's worth. So why are we judging ourselves or judging others on a sample size we wouldn't expect to actually create the future that we want? Right? Like, I'm down $1,000 here today. It sucks, right? For sure, it's not a great feeling. For sure, I wish I had a better close on that first trade, right? Or I was had a better plan on managing that on the way down. Cool. That's reasonable feedback, right? That's a good data point, right? That's the inner reflection. But to say that I push the envelope or that I'm too aggressive or whatever is really unfair. And Sonia, that's why we try to be consistent with our approach, right? If our technique is muscle memory, if it's something that we do each time, then we just default into going back into muscle memory. But if we have emotional reactions to every trade or every win or loss, then we just ride that P&L roller coaster and that emotional roller coaster, and we never are able to compound into something that's actually impressive. So that's the whole point, right? About being consistent. It's like when my body gets stressed, when it's under emotional pressure, when it's whatever, my default reaction is to trade my system and my technique. If I change it each trade, if I'm bouncing around between ideas, I just create analysis paralysis. I don't put myself in a good situation. So the other reality here, right, is today, okay, I'm down $1,000. Not to sound like it's not a lot of money. It is for sure, but it doesn't change my life in either direction. It's not like I'm going to get kicked out of my house here all of a sudden. So I need to not attach my ego to that number and become a student of my craft, right? Focus on elements that I can control, elements of technique, and optimize those variables for long-term solutions, because our prize or our target or what we're going for is a long-term solution, right? None of us are one trade away from being rich. None of us are one trade away from being poor when using prop firms. So why are we putting these expectations on ourselves on a trade to trade basis and riding that bullshit? It's completely unacceptable, right? It's not setting yourself up for any element of success. So the only way to play this game and to win this game long term is to optimize for that long term win, for that bigger prize. So if I'm optimizing for a bigger prize, right, and I'm optimizing for something that is like a legitimate dopamine hit, then today's trade is a drop in the bucket, right? And so, like, would you be bothered? No, it's about the long term sample size, it's about the long term objective. And yeah, why would I want to cap my upside potential? That makes 0 sense, right? From that context. I want to give myself as much chance as possible to win as big as possible. In every trade, I take a risk number and I'm willing to accept that risk, right? On that position, on that last trade, I had $310 worth of risk. Pretty much no matter what the market does after, I am okay with that number. I am entering that trade with the expectation that I'm either learning something or I'm losing $310. Like I'm paying $310 to learn something. That's the mindset. So to a certain extent, yes, it sucks to see your idea fail or to not be able to find your exit and to like self-sabotage your way. That's a reasonable thing to want to fix. But if I wasn't happy with that $310 loss after the trade ended, then I'm an asshole for sizing it that big to begin with, right? If that loss is putting me in a situation where I feel bitter about my trading or as if technique doesn't work or that I'm lying to you guys or that trading isn't for you or that futures is a bad asset class or it makes you feel whatever insecurity, right, that you're feeling in that moment, then you weren't actually willing to accept that risk and that number is above whatever your tolerance level is. Size down, right? Make it so that it's insignificant. Make it so that it's not only a drop in your bucket from like a delayed gratification area, But if a drop of that bucket spilled, you're not getting soaked and completely wet. The thing that I think probably bothers me the most, and this is something that I had to fight through with a little bit as well as a person. I think most people are slaves to the moment and they need that instant gratification. Everything has to be perfect right here, right now, in this moment. If it doesn't, then it's a scam and it's a failure and it's all XYZ. But nothing good in my life has ever come instantly. Nothing. And so, what people end up doing as traders, because they're addicted to that short term gratification, that short term dopamine, because they need that immediate win to feel as if they're successful or as if they justified joining or whatever it might be, that they optimize everything for their short term feeling, right? They think, ooh, I'm going to be a millionaire day trader right away. Let me get 20 accounts, or let me go this position sizing, or let me panic close so that I feel good about being green. And all that does is slow you down. Because once you get addicted to that short-term dopamine of the market, too easy to go out and find it. And once we start looking for trades that make us feel good or feel smart or feel whatever, we're screwed, right? So the only way for me to control those anxieties, those stressors, those bad pain points, those whatever, for me to be systematic in my approach. The first rule of a trading system is you don't break your trading rules, right? And when you break your trading rules or you're willing to make them flexible, you always get in trouble long term. So don't ask me to do that, team, because I won't. And I will take it extremely personally because that's about as big of an attack on a trader's character as one can make. Right? It is the pursuit of the consistency that has allowed me to build a career here. And I don't have to share this, right? Don't have to do these things. Say this to everyone all the time. I like doing this because I think it makes me a better trader. Fundamentally, that's the primary reason why I run DTR and why I run it in the way that I do. I'm transparent here, right? And I say all my thoughts and I don't apply a filter to what I say. And I just, have diarrhea of the mouth, right? Sometimes with the way that I talk. But I do that because when I watch back my trades, when I review my videos, when I go through these things, I know exactly what I was thinking, why I was thinking, and I can learn and get better. I'm happy to have that internal monologue for myself. And I don't need to share that, right? It does make my job a lot more difficult. So I don't mean to rant and rave, and I'm not trying to bitch out anybody here. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I want you all to be to think about what you actually want as a trader and what actually makes you a good trader. It is consistency above all else that is rewarded by the market. And if I get criticized for being consistent in my approach, so be it. You just don't get it. You don't get what it takes. And yeah, like it is to be a profitable trader, you have to humble yourself to the point where you can make your position sizing irrelevant so that you can find a way to be consistent. And that is a different process for absolutely everybody. Everybody has a different number that breaks them. Everyone has a different number that puts them over the edge. And you guys need to be more selfish in that pursuit. Everyday team, regardless of if it's a winning day or not, a losing day, a winning day, pretty much doesn't matter how much I make. People always complain. So I can't I can't care if you don't care. Like I said, all my objective is here is to show you what I do, what I think is best for me at all times. I trade very selfishly, right? I'm doing what I think is best for me and my account in every single one of my decisions. And I try to be very consistent in my approach and executing that. Outside of market hours, I feel like I give you guys a lot of time going through your trades, going through your calls, answering your questions, helping you with questions that you could Google and answer yourself. Give you guys all a lot of time and a lot of my energy. But please don't hold it against me when I do what I think is best. Yeah, you can watch the videos in the Start Here channel, Imaginate86. All those questions are answered there. But no, I do not believe in mental stop losses. Yeah, you have a great day too. Okay, so looking here, stop loss 801. Okay, now would be lower. Now would be 798. And remember, team, no one here is forcing you to ever make a trade or make a decision, right? Don't have a gun to your head telling you have to do this or you have to do that. Be accountable to yourselves too, right? No one is forcing you to exit at the same price I exit at. No one is forcing you to buy at the same price I buy at. No one's forcing you to buy the same amount of contracts. If you don't like it, or you're at your number, right? You're at your mental capital limit. Be selfish. Right? Bail yourself out. Don't look for help from someone else. Be the one who knocks. Like I said, every decision I am making, I am doing because I think that's what's best for me in my account at all times. I'm not thinking what's best for JS. I'm not thinking what's best for Kiki. I'm thinking what's best for Michael. So you should all be having that same approach as well when you're trading. Don't look for someone to bail you out because it's not going to work. Okay, so now we're looking aggressive, something like this. 806, stop loss. So 814 to 806. Can maybe go 3 contracts here. Hey guys, I am in 23, 811.50, stop loss 806. I have 3 contracts on this. 811.50. Yeah, see if we can keep pushing here. So far, so good. So far, so good. Yeah, this thing's really starting to push here, team. Really starting to push. Let's see if we can keep going. There it goes, guys. There it goes. That's green on the day. So this is why consistency is important, right? This is exactly why, guys, right? I can rant and rave and I can be a freaking lunatic. And then the market will set me up and I know exactly what to do, how to behave, why to do it. And I don't have to think. I can just go flow state, right? That's the whole objective. And it's not that I'm the GOAT. It's not that, right? I'm not looking for that validation. I don't care about that. I'm not competing against you. I'm not competing against someone else. I'm competing against myself and my relentless desire to improve and to get better is what keeps me playing. Right? So like the reward I want from trading this game is internal, right? It's one that I want from me by me. Obviously, I want you all to be extremely successful too, and I find that extremely validating. And it makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside. But fundamentally, right, I'm looking for my own little cleanse, right? I'm trying to satisfy my own soul. And so I'm pursuing things that I think are best for me at all times in every given context. Understood? And I expect the same from you all as well, right? So this idea that I try harder on certain trades is not the reality, or that I push harder or push less on certain trades is not the reality. Come on, give me that next leg through 30. The 3 for 3 candle, right? Reasonable shape, good volume profile, held higher highs. Maybe just mentally, I'm ready for Friday. It's the same thing every time, Ian, right? It's the same thing every time. The random or the result of my next trade is effectively random. If I'm consistent, the result of my next 100 trades isn't. Okay, I don't like that lower low. All right, guys, I'm done for the day. Just took the stop loss. Hey, enjoy your weekends, team. I'll see you on Monday.